Hello everybody, Crazy Canuck coming at you again from Saskatchewan, Canada. This video I'm going to show you what I built this spring. It's a grow chamber that I built to start my plants. The way I like to do everything is use as much recycled or repurposed material as possible. Now the cover is house wrap that I had laying around, so it will keep the heat in. Now the construction of this unit starts with, I don't know if you can see that, the pallets that I used. I cut them at 2 feet, and that makes the main base. I've used some scrap material from other pallets, 2x4s. I had some plywood laying around that I used, and some 1-inch styrofoam that I used for house projects. I had some extra laying around, so I used that. The only purchased material are 2 2x4s on the top here. That's all I actually bought for this project. Now what I've set up here is a light test. In this 8-foot hood, I have 4 T5 high output grow lamps, 52 or 53 watts apiece. On this other side, I have 4 LED shop lights. They're 32 watts apiece. So my original intention was to plant a variety of plants in here under these lights, let them come up, and Brix test them to see which light is the best choice for growing. If you want to look up Brix, my first video that I did is on Brix. Now, interestingly enough, what happened, since I used soil from my greenhouse container setup, I end up with a lot of volunteer plants. So I planted some fava beans, some Diana Heritage fava bean, and what has come up on its own, I can see some flax, I can see tomatoes, I can see possibly some peppers, some wild oats, some other grains. There's some dill here, looks like some wild mustard. So I've got a really good variety of plants here, which is going to really tie in well to what I'm trying to accomplish. So instead of just planting some plants and checking them, now I've got the opportunity to check different plants, including the weeds, and then you can see exactly how the Brix refractometer works when you're checking your crops. From another video, you may remember the starter setup that I had. It's ready for transplanting. So somebody had asked about being able to transplant from the perlite. Well, I'm going to show you real quick how that works. So the perlite creates a very loose system, so you can go in with your fingers, you can go in with any kind of a tool, and the plants come out, roots and all, very nicely. Then you just put a little hole into the grow bed, drop them in, and they're transplanted. One problem I do see once in a while with using soil mediums for transplants is it'll actually tear off the roots, which you really don't want. So now I'll give you a little tour of the bed here. So I planted the Diana favas. I've got 1 row here. Come down to here, I've got another row here, so I'm putting 1 row on each end of the lights, and the same over here. I've got a row of fava here, and then I've got another row over here. They're coming up a little slower because of course it's a little cooler on this end. Now as you can see, I've got all kinds of different plants coming up. And of course, every time I have a grow bed, I like to have my red wigglers in there helping me. So there's a whole bunch of them in here. Now I mentioned wild oats. Here's a little farm trick that I learned when I was growing up. Wild oats has a leaf that turns counterclockwise. So as you can see, that one has a counterclockwise spin on it. Other grains, like this here, isn't going to be a wild oat. It turns clockwise. Not sure why that is, but that's how it works. And then of course I have tomatoes, all kinds of other little plants that I probably won't even know what they are until they come up. There's another tomato. There's some looks like wild mustard, possibly some herbs I had planted in the pots this summer. Over here is that's what flax looks like when it comes up. So this is going to be a very interesting opportunity here to be able to Brix test a lot of the different plants. And when these plants are maybe 2-3 inches tall, I will do the test. The lights that do the best job will stay, and the other bank of lights will be swapped. So the lights I want to go to when I determine which ones are the winners out of this group are the lights from Hidden Harvest. Hidden Harvest has a YouTube channel, and how they supply a full spectrum light. So I am looking forward to giving those a try. Now as you can see, all this was some repurposed 2x4s with a poly liner, and you put the soil in and you're good to go. Very easy. Anybody could do this, minus all the volunteer vegetables, but I guess this is what they call a food forest. So that's it for now. I'm going to do some transplanting, and I will come back and show you what that looks like. So there you have it. Did some transplanting, some lettuce and a few other plants here. I got a few rows there. Probably not going to be able to tell a whole lot from the plants that are already growing. As you can see, I'm kind of a passive gardener. I really don't like things absolutely pristine and, you know, nothing growing except what I plant. I prefer to just kind of let nature take its course. As long as the crop that I plant is further ahead than everything else around it, I'm happy. And so are the plants. And just one more thing to show you. When I'm watering these plants, I have a source right here. These are my goldfish that I have outside in the summertime, and this is where the water from my greenhouse comes from. In the winter, or should I say in October, I move them inside so they don't freeze. And now I water all these plants from the fish pond. So that's a quick video of this setup that I've got, and you will have a chance to come along and see how it all works. Nice thing about my grow chamber is how easy it is to operate. You just drop the curtain, and that tiny little heater only has to heat that top level. The curtain will come up and seal up against the pallets at the bottom, and it will be shop temperature on the bottom, but the top I maintain between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. It is a really great idea, especially for cold climates, so that you can have a small chamber. This one, I've always done something like this. I could start January, February, and start putting stuff in the greenhouse in May. This is also a good possibility for growing indoors year-round. If the lights that I try are energy efficient, it's only the heating that's going to cost. And if you build with styrofoam and build extremely efficiently, I think the heating could be done at minimal cost. So there you have it. There's the start of the trial for the lights, and there will be updated videos every so often, take you through this whole process and keep checking things probably for the next 3, 4, maybe even 5 months. So that's it for this video. I hope you got something out of it. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you like, and we'll talk to you later. This is the Crazy Canuck. Bye for now.